because these were to get us ready for the race for the family. Today, we have the fabulous Dr. Denise Asafu Adjei. Dr. Adjei is a urologist, also a male reproductive health specialist. She just finished her urology fellowship at Columbia, and she's getting ready to start her male infertility fellowship at UCLA. So welcome, Dr. Asafu Adjei.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. Yes, so I just finished up residency actually at Columbia. So my fellowship is going to be focusing in on male infertility. I'm so excited. I think, this initiative, this race, it's just a wonderful thing just to bring these families together. So thank you so much for including me. And I look forward to, working with more families like this in the future and organizations like yours. It really does a lot for these, for people dealing with this.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
So I appreciate you. We get a lot of men who look at these workouts, and in the fertility world, often the focus is on women, although we all know that you actually need male parts and female parts to conceive. So right. I thought today would be fitting for our capstone to talk about the brothers. What do the men need to know?
And I think it's phenomenal that you're including this dialogue. I think, as you said, a lot of the focus tends to be on women. Infertility in general affects between 8 to 14% of couples, and male factor infertility contributes anywhere between about 36% to 75% of causal factors. So it's not an insignificant contribution. I think for the men out there, things to think about, there's a lot of different categories and a lot of different things that can cause male factor infertility. Some things we as doctors do called iatrogenic causes. Sometimes there are congenital or, inherent things that, you couldn't have done anything about. You were born with it and you may not even know you have it until you're encountering situations where you're not, able to conceive. Other, things that people don't necessarily think about, some infectious causes, and, some behavioral and environmental things, which are modifiable factors that you can actually change. So I wanted to talk a little bit about all those categories just to give people a sense of, things to, think about. So with anatomic causes, some of the big things we think about are, so the vas deferens, kind of like a tube that helps to carry sperm to where it needs to be. Sometimes people are born without it. And, again, unless you're examining yourself or unless some physician, told you that at some point, that's one huge risk factor for not being able to conceive. And, there's other kind of lines of workup and, treatment, what have you, that can help you, kind of get around that. When you're born, children, little boys that may not have testicles where they're supposed to be. That's why these, early childhood exams are very important. Really catch these things the earlier we can kind of address those issues sooner rather than later to help, again, minimize the impact of this on, future fertility. Some of these, conditions also in the long term are important because they do put some of these men at a slightly increased risk of certain testicular cancers. So it actually really is important to think about some of the impact of some of these anatomical variations when it comes to, assessing and, assessing risk for some of these, for some of these men. I think what's really important for people to think about are kind of behavioral and environmental causes. That usually tends to be the thing that, at least it's something that you could potentially change. So like lifestyle, one big thing is obesity. Obesity has been associated with higher rates of infertility. So if you think about really the importance of exercising and, attempting to stay fit, it can help to, modifying that can actually help to boost your fertility rates. Some other things, depending on your line of work or other environmental exposures like pesticides, DDT, people that are in the like hair business, like PCBs, those things that are, found in some of those sprays, those all, in various studies have also been shown to affect male infertility. So if you are trying to conceive and you are in a job that's surrounding you with various chemicals, a plant or something like that, again, may not be something you can easily walk away from, but these are also things that have also been associated with male fertility. Some other common things we think about drinking alcohol, tobacco. Those are probably the two biggest things that you can change. I'd say commonly if we're counseling men who are actively trying to conceive, we tell them stop the alcohol and stop the smoking because those have been
completely stop. You can't
yes.
have one glass a day. Okay.
I I think, it's hard to tell someone, potentially, going cold turkey, but if you're telling me you're drinking, several pints of, liquor a day, probably something you want to minimize. I don't think a glass of wine necessarily with dinner occasionally is not going to put you over the edge, but I think for those who are really, really trying to be stringent and really, be strict about their regimen, that may be something that they think about, eliminating. And smoking, and not just the infertility space, but in a lot of other spaces, is associated just with, bad outcomes. And, that's usually easier said than done, but certainly smoking cessation has a lot of, longstanding, benefits. And also things like smoking marijuana, that's also something that actually impacts your yeah, exactly. That impacts your,
Now, I have a
fertility.
question about that. I've
Mhm.
got a follow-up question. You said smoking and marijuana.
Mhm.
Is it the nicotine or is it the other kind of contaminants in the actual tobacco? Because there are a lot of people who juul and who get their
Yeah.
nicotine through other devices outside of cigarettes.
Right. It tends to be the other chemical components. I think several of the studies that have looked at this, nicotine in general, it affects different, pathways that indirectly do affect what controls our, men's, I should say, testosterone production and your, hormones and all the things that allow you to healthily produce sperm. But a lot of times it's the other additives in these things that really do tend to be, problematic.
Got it.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And then some other things. So positive things that people can do. There's been a lot of studies on different vitamins and antioxidants. These are things that do have mild benefits when it comes to, boosting fertility. So like your vitamin A, vitamin C, zinc, like there's CoQ10, there's like a variety of things that, if you look out there, people, have found them to, help with fertility. Again, not huge rates, but something where, again, if you're really trying to keep yourself in the healthiest of shape, a multivitamin that kind of has a little bit of these major nutrients is something that can help. And again, there has been a sprinkle of studies that have looked at this and at least has shown slight benefits in men that do decide to take it. So you have some providers who will actually recommend that, people are taking antioxidants, and you can get this not even in the form of external vitamins, but just a healthy, well-rounded diet really, really has big impacts on just your general health.
So are you one of the providers that would suggest that men, at least at baseline, start just a good multivitamin so that they can get some of these? Or would you just say, you know what, you need to just try and eat healthy so you can and get some of these nutrients through your diet?
Right. I think it's a mix of both. I think vitamins tend to be a very personalized, decision. If you're someone who, depending on where you live and your access, if you have access to be able to get these nutrients kind of naturally through your foods, I think that's always the kind of recommended way. But if you don't have access to that, I think multivitamins do kind of package them up for you. So even at the end of the day, if you couldn't get to a well-rounded diet, that you got your daily dosing of, all the major vitamins that you need just to be healthy in general. So I think it's kind of personal preference, but it really depends on your access to a lot of foods, which not everyone has, which I, understand. But now, luckily, with the advent of a lot of delivery services, you can get, things delivered to you, even if it's not in your immediate vicinity.
You know what? This is very interesting, and I am seeing that we need to just bring you back because there are a lot of follow-up questions. I know I keep interrupting, but this is great information. A lot of people are focused on different types of diets: keto, paleo, low carb, high fat, high carb. Just
Right.
We're doing everything, and I think that this is a topic that we don't do enough. We don't talk enough about it, supporting the men and helping them with lifestyle. So We'll have to bring you back for a coffee with Kate so we can have a little bit more time to dig into this. But I really do
Absolutely.
appreciate you for being here. Yay!
Thank you. And thank you so much for having me again. I get very excited about the male fertility side because, again, I think it's just an area that does not get enough attention. And I think, even now we're seeing a lot more younger men who are thinking about this, with society kind of shifting with when people are starting their families. This tends not to be something that people think about because the focus is usually on women. But, we do find a lot of men who just never thought about it, so now they're just like, let me think about my fertility. So I think it's great to put it out there, and I'd be happy to come back and, have a coffee chat for us to talk more about this. This excites me.
Wonderful, wonderful. So thank you so much. And if you would like to follow up with her or learn more, are you available on social media?
I am. I'm on Instagram. I'm on Twitter. So my handle is Denise, like my first name, DENISE underscore DDOC. So DDOC, Denise underscore DDOC.
Awesome. All right. So thank you so much. And for those of you who are getting ready for the race, we are moving right into our workout. Woohoo! So Terrell Talbert, take it away. You're going to give us a 30-minute Zumba. And for those of you who know Terrell, he plays no games. So I hope you're ready. And I'll see the rest of you guys on Saturday, wherever you are, because it is a virtual race for the family. I, for one, will be in my front yard. Dr. Adjei will actually be in New York running with her partner through the streets. And I know we're going to have a lot of people that are spinning, biking, running, moving all over the place. So if you still haven't registered, it's not too late. You can still register, raceforthefamily.com. Now, I can't guarantee you're going to get your shirt before this race, but as you know, registration includes registration for the virtual race, which is going to take place on Saturday, as well as the in-person race. And we'll probably have a virtual component for that as well in the fall. So you'll still get your shirt before the fall event, but you can still register now. Yay! And everyone who registers is entered to win a raffle, and the award is $10,000 in fertility treatment at Shady Grove Fertility. This is the most exciting part of this Corona workout series for me, because this is the time when you get to lead your own workout. For the past number of weeks, we've had many different experts, running, walking, professional athletes, trainers lead these workouts, because sometimes you need professional support in order to achieve your goals. But at some point, you've got to take responsibility for your choice and make decisions about how you want to pursue those goals. And in our situation, the goal is pursuing parenthood. So just like you've got to decide for yourself what you want to do, today we are encouraging you to do that same thing for your workout. Are you going to walk? Are you going to jog? Are you going to spin? How are you going to move to get ready? Regardless to what you decide to do, we are here to support you. We love you. We can't wait to see you at the starting line for the virtual Race for the Family on Saturday. Remember, the starting line is wherever you are. Take care. See you at 7:30 right here on the Kate Foundation social media page.